Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now.
I'm all for it. I'm saying what's up with the brains. Love
what?
that.
What?
Love the
Hello,
brains.
yeah, and
Hello, brains. Hello, brains.
He done said hi to y'all, brains. He done said hi. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm blushing. Okay, for several reasons. Number one, he's one of the sharpest knives in the drawer. I love a man that can fight. I'm a boxing fan. I followed his father's career, Muhammad Ali. I met Muhammad Ali. I've met Mike Tyson. I met Malios from Canada. I just love that's a gentleman's sport when you can just knock them out with your fist. You don't need a gun. You ain't disrespecting them. You might be talking about their mama, but...
that's the old school way. When you fight a fair one, you put your hands together and you say, all right, here.
Absolutely.
We're gonna duke it out, and the best man wins, best woman wins, and hey, we gonna still be friends after. We gonna hang out afterwards.
So, Brains, this is Ray Leonard Jr. Now you know, if you don't know, the son of the great boxer Sugar Ray Leonard. But I want to focus on some good stuff. I want to talk about his business. I want to talk about his podcast, his future, what it feel like to get hit in the head. And just, somebody just knock your lights out. What is he eating that I can eat? Because look at him. He looking like brand new money. Look at you. You look good. You look good. Oh, look at that. I'm scared of you. See, and I love it. I've always wanted to learn how to hit the bag. But anyway, we'll get into that later. I'm just so excited to have you. So, Ray, tell us a little bit about, let's start at the beginning. The making of a man. Now, you have had to, again, ain't nothing wrong with it, walk in your father's shadows because of his notoriety and his fame. But how does that feel being a junior? My husband's a junior, and he was like, no. It's hard to separate the two. How are you able to establish your own self in the world?
I always talk about it, April, that, a lot of people think they know my story, but they don't know my journey. And so I love to talk about it. I was a shy kid when I was growing up. My parents were teenagers. My mother was 15, my father was 16 when I was born. We lived in Palmer Park, Maryland. We didn't have much at all. And all of a sudden, my father wins the 1976 gold medal in the Olympics. And we go from being kids in the hood to everybody around the hood knowing who we are. Right. So you go from nobody know who you are to everybody knows who you are. But we still ain't have no money. But people have the perception of that, they think you're having success and like that. My father came back from the Olympics and my grandfather was sick. And so he decided he wanted to go to the University of Maryland instead of trying to have a boxing career, because we'd seen so many people in boxing get taken advantage of and end up poor. So he's like, maybe business might be the way to go. And
that Don King, let me tell you,
only in America.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, go ahead.
hey, but Don King's contribution to the boxing world was incredible for what he did. But he did some things that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't say I wouldn't have chose not to do it, but. He put a lot of people on the map, and first thing he did, he came to my father with a whole bag of money. That was his thing. He'd come with a bag of cash.
Wow.
and say, here, you take this. You imagine being a broke kid from the Maryland or wherever the kids were from, and you get a whole big bag of cash and say, here, we're gonna change your life. And we had the wherewithal to deny it. He end up, we had used the popularity of, the winning the gold medal in the Olympics and getting 30 investors to, invest in him as a business, and, end up paying everybody back after the first fight and end up becoming a free agent. So he owned his own rights. So when you look at Floyd Mayweather and you look at Oscar De La Hoya and these guys that are are, doing their thing now. That was the piece that paved the way. But not a lot of people know about that.
Right. Yeah. Again, entrepreneurship, teaching you how to, there's so much we're going to talk about. So now you guys are thrust into the spotlight,
Right.
And he becomes a world champion. What did that feel like?
Oh, it was insane. I go from the neighborhood. We still lived in our old neighborhood until we got an apartment, but we lived in the old neighborhood to about 1980 after we did this commercial. We did a 7-Up commercial. So, it was there, but it wasn't there. But once we did that commercial and he won his first championship, it all just took off like you wouldn't imagine. It was such a blur at times that one day I'm sitting with my homies in elementary school at Phyllis C. Williams Elementary School in Largo, Maryland. The next day I'm on Meeting the Queen of England, or I'm sitting with James Baldwin or Stevie Wonder or Nelson Mandela. I mean, it's insane. I look back at the pictures of the people that I was around and that was an influence on me as I grew up. And, I can have an appreciation for it right now, but for me to say that I knew exactly what was going on at that point in time, I understood the magnitude, but I didn't understand, the level of legacy that it would lead to.
Right.
And the fact,
and also your father, because he's got to do the networking, he's got the next big fight, the photo shoot, the entourage, the paparazzi. I'm sure it could be overwhelming. How'd your mom process all of it? Was it kind of shocking for her too?
It was shocking for her too, because neither one of them came from large family educational background, or that anybody else knew how to tell them how to deal with what was going on. So of course, if you don't know how to deal with what's going on, you're going to make some mistakes and you're going to have some things come up. But they did the best that they could, and it was such a whirlwind. And I owe everything to them and how they tried to move forward, try to be the best parent that they could be. They tried the best that they can do. But if you don't have a roadmap and you creating that road, sometimes it's gonna get bumpy.
All right. So now there's so many things I want to talk to you about that. You work as are you a sport and entertainment agent, representative?
I used to be an agent. Now I just do consulting in that space, but I was an agent for 10 years. Okay. I still have my company, Leonard Sports Management. I sold a piece of it, back in the day, and then I got it all back. But what my main thing is that I'm a businessman, two-entrepreneur, and so I want to control my own destiny. I have a venture studio that I'm a part of. I have two new companies that I'm a part of.
And you talk. I think I know what that venture studio is. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. We can talk about it.
Are we talking about Black owned?
Yeah, well, Black owned is I'm the chief strategy director.
Yikes! They got you on the chessboard.
yeah. I'm over here trying to figure out how to make this thing move forward.
Absolutely. So, well, I already put a blessing on it. I already said y'all gonna be billionaires, so just sit there and wait on it. I didn't call it.
That's what we do.
Because millionaires are nothing now. They're sloppy seconds.
Yeah. Hey, we working on the mission, not the money, but the money gonna come.
I know it can't do anything but that. All right, so let's talk to some of these young people that are being represented by these agents, okay? Because they can't even read a contract. I know a lot of people in the entertainment world, and I can say it because he was close to the family, but it hurt me to my heart. We had to take up collection for somebody like Billy Preston.
Yeah.
And they end up, they don't have anything. All of these young football players, I love football and boxing. Anything, I don't know, to kind of knock you in the head, I kind of
well, that's why we get along, because I know I boxed and had a pretty good amateur career, but then I chose football and was a pretty good football player, two-sport athlete in college. Got a chance to go to Arizona to the Cardinals and get a little workout, and had an opportunity there. But that's kind of when I found out the reality behind it, because I mean, I've been immersed in sports and in boxing. If you're immersed in the boxing business, which I was drawn to, that you see it in a whole different way, from what the glitz and the glamour is. And then you see the dedication and the stress and if you see a fighter after he fights a 12 or 15 round fight,
I have.
a tough fight,
it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty for a while. And the after effects, like I said, Muhammad Ali, and I done been Vegas many times, just front and center, and it's crazy. And people don't really realize how hard you train, how hard those bags are. You different weight classes. You got to eat right. You stress. It's a whole mental thing. I think of like athletes like Simone Weil or Serena Williams. That the intensity. Did you see that movie with Will Smith? That King Richard?
King Richard, loved it. It made me angry though, because I almost had Venus and Serena as my clients back in the day. I had them at a golf tournament that I did in Philadelphia, and they were just driving around. One of my business associates, a guy named Leland Harding, and he bought them. He bought Richard to the tournament, and they just were riding around the course, hanging out with my brother, running around. And I guess I didn't make the right pitch because
sometimes it's history. But no, opportunity. Okay, if it's meant for you, you can't miss it. It's like a bullet. If it's meant for you, it's got your name on it. The time's got to be right. You wasn't prepared to negotiate like you are now, because they got that billion.
They got the bag. They got the bag for sure.
And you know what? Can I tell a secret?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that this is the god brother of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you something.
We just give all the tea.
All the tea. But let me tell y'all something. Okay, I don't care what you say on social media. I have met Kim, I've met Chris, and I met Chloe. And they are sweet as cherry pie. They told me my shoes was cute.
Mm-hmm.
And because they sex kittens, don't hate on them. Shit. I mean, sorry. Don't hate on them.
Hey, what Chuck D say, public enemy? You gotta use what you got to get what you want.
That's right. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And they're gorgeous. And those girls work hard. They work harder than Hebrew slaves. Okay, you under the spotlight, and your whole life, and your kids, and you can't even go to Disneyland. It is, it's awful. So cut them some slack, because they some real cool people. I don't know what happened in the last years, but they were beautiful when I met them.
Yeah, I mean, all those girls, they put in work, and so with I think it's Kylie just got first one for 300 million followers on Instagram, and he's a billionaire. But their mom, Chris, is a genius with how she put the plan together, and they followed the plan, they executed the plan. And so you can't say because we went on. I don't know if I can talk about that, but
okay,
yeah. I mean, we go way back. I mean, before this, and so like Chloe had asked me to be on the first Kardashian show, and I'm like, nah, that ain't my style. I ain't gonna be on a reality TV. I mean, I'm old school. I didn't understand. I didn't know it was gonna be that big back then, of course. But
I mean, but look at all they've suffered some severe tragedies in that too. It takes a lot from your life. The men have been cut up and butchered, and the women forge ahead. So I ain't mad at them. And they got a lot of kids. Trade-off. Chris got all them grandkids. What that look like at Christmas?
they have a Christmas party, and so they do this as a family every year. They have a big major Christmas party on the 24th of Christmas Eve, and it's phenomenal. And they have that tradition, and they keep that going. I got nothing but love for them and what they do.
Yeah, I'm proud of Kim. She's gonna be an attorney. It might take one more. Yeah, it might be 1 or 2 more tests. KK, don't worry about it, girl. You got this. Because they're hard.
I tell you what, April. There's a trade-off to all this, though. I mean, for all the success and everything that they have, and to try to keep up with that, there's a mental trade-off that you think you have to consistently have a certain atmosphere or personality out there that you have to maintain, which is, on your mental health is crazy. to achieve that kind of success. And then, if you can't just go to the grocery, you can't just go to the grocery store. They can't.
I told you they can't go to Disneyland. That's awful. Even when they buy it out, TMZ got the pictures.
Exactly. On everything you do.
Right. And then if there's a tragedy, I mean, I know how I feel just losing my family. It's magnified 120%. Everywhere you go, when you turn on the TV, you got to explain this to your kids. You got to isolate them. It's just a lot. But on the flip side of that, the risk versus the reward. Now that money, money is not everything, brains. It's energy. It's really how you flow that energy, because you can go to Tibet or Bali or Dubai and have a wonderful time and be there by yourself, unhappy.
Exactly. At some point you get so much, and it's like it don't mean nothing.
It's like a blank thing. Okay, I can write a check. I can go anywhere. I can do this. What's your heart's desire? It's crazy. So what do you do for fun and recreation that's crazy?
That's crazy. Oh my goodness.
You swim with dolphins?
I don't do too much crazy stuff no more. I mean, I do the swim with the dolphins things. My wife and I, we going to Hawaii in about 10 days. Finally taking a little break, vacation to turn social media stuff off. So I will be jumping in with some dolphins and stuff like that. But I'm at the point in time. I'm like, I'm not going to be doing too much stuff crazy. I mean, I'll get out on the golf course. I play basketball with my kids. I thought that was crazy because my knees was hurting, my back was hurting for 2 days.
How old are you, Ray?
I am 49.
49. Okay, so give me because you're physically fit and I'm working on it. The scale is moving the opposite way. I don't want to talk too much. I just want to see the results. And I gotta stay consistent.
Love it.
I gotta stay, because that's my thing. I don't get consistent. But if I stay consistent and I'm feeling a certain kind of way that the scale is moving, it's like mentally, am I worthy of this weight loss? It's a whole mind thing. How can I get that under control? How can I stay focused, sir?
So I have my own thing that I do for myself, but there was one person named Mel Robinson. So Tony Robinson's wife. And she had a plan that she does the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 deal, right? So it just kind of resets your brain. Every time you're thinking about doing something that's outside of your path, you count down in your head 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It kind of gives you just a little break to say, here, let me stay on my path, right? Really? So yeah, sometimes we act the things that we do are out of emotion, but when you train yourself, so you're out of your bad habits or out of the habits that you don't want to use anymore. Okay. If you're able to do it, whether it's breathing, or whether it's something that triggers you to say stop and go back to what you actually were planning to do. Okay. It's good. But she has the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I love to use that. I do it for my kids when they get stressed out or they start to overthink a situation. I say take a deep breath or count back. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna try to count back when I be looking at between me and the next cupcake.
There you go. You say, all right, I was in China and they called 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Right, what else can I do?
Yeah. Because I was in China and they called sugar sweet poison. I was like, well, I don't want none of that, Yeah. I got enough of that with my husband. So talk about husband and wife.
Oh, there you go. It's sweet poison.
I've been married 37 years. How long you been married?
Sheesh. It'll be 20 years. Wow. On the 21st of September.
That's the day I'll always remember. Ain't that a song?
Hey, you know what? I was very smart when I did that.
That's right. That's what I capitalized on. So tell me about your beautiful wife and your children.
You know what? No, my wife, we have been together for 25 years, gone through every single possible up and down that you can imagine. But it was a thing with us that we committed to each other, and we understood our vows for better or worse, and we work together as a team. So she runs a winery, one of the only Black women here in where we live in Temecula that runs a winery, and she's the boss.
When things lighten up, let me know. I get a bus tour. We come up there, and that'd be nice.
Yeah, going there. Fazeli Cellars is where she is, and she's the only brown thing around here. You should ask what Black woman runs a winery out here, and it'll be her.
Wow. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. We have 4 beautiful kids. My daughter Ariel is from my first marriage. And she is a genius. She went to Pepperdine on an academic scholarship, was the second person in the family to graduate after me.
Wow.
So she's a marketing executive in New York. She decided she wanted to get out of California. It's cold now. She want to come back.
But then I know.
My son Jalen was the third person in our family to go to college. He's in at Grambling State University, a freshman playing football. And then I have two younger kids, Devin and Ryan, who Devin's just finished his freshman year of high school with, and then my baby girl is headed into high school next year. And so she's a volleyball star, and Devin's a football star, and an academic and a STEM student. I mean, I don't know what I did to deserve these kids.
I don't know. You got some good genes. That's some good stuff. But you know what? It comes with you colored in the white spaces. Where there was empty spaces and you weren't able to, be with your dad sometime when you wanted to or have issues, you made sure that, you compensated, but not one, but 4 kids. So bravo. I had one and I was done. Okay. She's great. She's a great costume designer and makeup artist. She's a creative. Do you just allow your children to be who they are, or did you really kind of direct them in that path? Was that kind of a discipline?
I direct them. We direct them from some of the shortcomings that we had about understanding about financial literacy, about taking care of yourself physically and mentally, about not trying to be someone that's following the crowd, but for the most part, their journey is their journey. I tell them that we all got our own fingerprint for a reason, because God made us in a way that we have our own journey. So your path may not be my path, and so don't get discouraged if it's not that or it's not somebody else's. This is your journey. I mean, it may be the long haul. You may, like my oldest son Jalen. He's a phenomenal athlete, but he was undersized, and so he has to take the long path. But my daughter Ryan, she's a freak of nature. She's 5'9" at 14 years old, and volleyball from the phenom. So we all have our path. We all have our path. But at the end of the day, you got to be happy with the life that you live and the person that you see every single day in the mirror.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good, because there's a lot of parents that needed that encouragement, because they going crazy with them kids home with this COVID. They don't know who these little people are. Imposter syndrome. Now they know what the teacher was saying in that note.
Sheesh.
Okay. But you are, I want to ask you a couple more questions. Can I ask you a couple more questions? I want to ask you about your motivational speaking and your podcast. Okay. Now, first, you out there speaking, you elevating people. Tell me, who's your target audience?
My target audience is anybody that want to do better. I mean, so my whole thing is know better, do better. That was the advice that my grandfather gave me when I was a young man. And I learned it and understood it later on in my life, is that, every single, mistake that you make is a lesson to be learned. And once you learn it, you better do better from it. And so that is kind of the path I think we see a certain version of life. People see a certain version of life and they get stressed out that they're not there at that certain time. And things that they go through, and they make mistakes and they beat yourself up. And I encourage people to hear, like, you don't need to beat yourself up. You can be better today, than you were yesterday. And that's a victory. And so you're
still here. But I tell people all the time, the things that hurt you the most are your best teachers.
Exactly. I mean,
like that 1-2 to the head and knock you out 3-4 times real good. You ain't gonna want to come back for no more.
Yeah, if you fall down on that and you stay down because you got hit, like that's not the space to be in.
That's right.
We're gonna have trials and tribulations. We're gonna have hurdles to get over every single day. And so the thing is, just look at it as an opportunity to get better for the next day. And so that's kind of what I talk about. I talk about D&I stuff. I talk about leadership, transformational business, crisis management, all these different things, topics that I've gone through and learned throughout the years. But for the most part, I just want people to be better.
I know. Well, that's good. What kind of guests do you have on your show?
I have a variety. So I've had, infectious disease experts. I've had, healthcare people. I've had, star athletes. I've had singers. Everybody has a story. And so that's kind of the space. I want to get the stories to be out there. Everybody to tell about your darkest times and how you overcame it. And right. So I think that is a motivator in himself to say here, if this person can beat it, this person can go through it, and make it, then why can't I? You know, that's one thing I always talk about. Why not me?
Because I'm a coward.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at it, you look in life, there's been so many success stories of people coming from so many different backgrounds. And you know, if you say to yourself, why not me? Like, you are worthy.
Right, so, right.
Right. Why not you?
Why not you?
Billionaire? If Oprah would have said why it couldn't be her, then she would have never got to the place that she is.
You know, Tyler Perry, all you got to do is be a big dreamer. And I'm a huge dreamer. Sometimes I got to tether myself down. I dream the impossible dream because it makes me feel good. It expands my imagination. It allows me to manifest. It allows me to connect. It opens us up. I do these things called brain dumps. So I'm going to try your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But these brain dumps is I just get in the bed sometime with a pencil and piece of paper and everything that comes to my mind. I mean, going. And it releases so much. And then sometimes I'll go back and, you know, I kind of look at it, draw a line through it. Was I tripping or whatever? But I make it kind of like a puzzle in my mind, and it relaxes me. It really does, because you be so compartmentalized. Okay.
Right.
So now, last thing, fitness and health. Give us one good tip that you do, you know, every 3 to 5 days to stay healthy. Do you juice? Do you get a colonic? Do you get a massage? What do you do? Come on. I mean,
no, yeah, we do. We do juice. We juice at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Now, when you juice, is it just in the morning, or is it, you know, is it like a fast juice? What do you do?
Normally in the morning. Just to start the day off. You know, some type of protein, and some type of protein and fresh juices to get that body moving. And then it's just, you know, my thing now is I'm not trying to compete for anything, so it's just to keep the body moving. Just keep the body moving. Do something active.
It's competing for life.
So just being active.
Because black men don't go to the doctor, Ray. You know that. Oh yeah. They don't go to the doctor. They think they're invincible. They been and had a stroke. You know, high blood pressure. Eating wrong. Come on now, people. We got to fight the COVID. Your immune system got to be up. Juicing is important. And I'll tell you something else. If you have someone that is using the restroom and everybody got to leave the house, juice them. Give them some fresh juice, because they'll eliminate, and you won't even know they was in the bathroom. There's something rotting inside of your stomach. You got to get that out.
That's the funny thing. You said that your body tells you. Your body tells you what it needs. Like if you're feeling sluggish, your body's like, I need to move. I need to get this blood flowing. Yeah. If you're feeling like you're tired and you're down, you need something to pick you up. Your body will tell you, if I need more hydration. Your skin starts to get drier and everything else. Your body's like, I need hydration, and the hydration starts 2 to 3 days before your body starts telling you. So it's the little things, and you don't have to be the person that said I'm gonna be this super rock star healthy, but take care of yourself. Take a walk. Instead of park your car a little bit further away. I mean, and these are trivial things that you think, but it makes a difference in life.
It does. And don't smoke, and cut back on your drinking, and make your earrings fall off and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. A glass of wine every now and then kind of help the soul.
You know what? Some cognac, a martini. I don't have a problem with that. But when that is the entree, that's the main thing. Then it messes up your whole thing. But some people can handle it. I don't know. But you have handled it so gracious.
All in moderation. All in moderation.
I know. And thank you so much from the bottom of my socks, because my heart just isn't deep enough. That you took the time to be with me and the brains here on the edge. Oopsie, got my card all upset.
Oh, April, I love you and the brains. I love that.
I love that. Well, you know what I call them brains? When I started this show, I was doing a brain dump. And I said, where do people edit and filter their information? Where do they process? Where do they recall? Where do they make decisions? What function controls the entire body? It's the brain. Mm-hmm. It's the brain. And if you can get that mindset, again, when they say mindset, that's not in one particular thing. You got to work it like a Rubik's Cube. Wherever you need it, you need to work it. I got an ego coach. I'm going to turn you on to it. Now, that will blow your mind. Now, that's some good stuff. Some good stuff. So, brains, check it out.
I'm going to use that.
What you, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna use your brain dump at night. I'm gonna do that because I get my head. I think so much. I just start going off. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna take my pen and paper and write
just
it down.
Write whatever. I need to take the trash out. You know, the dog need to get his toenails cut. I need to get another $5,000 tomorrow. Just keep doing it. And this is another tip I'll share with all you brains. One of my guests gave this to me, and it has been the most powerful thing I've done in a long time. You ask yourself 2 questions. The first one is, how can it get any better than this? Say it, Ray.
How can it get any better than this?
And the second one is, what else is possible?
What else is possible?
And ask yourself that. Oh, I get goose pimples all down my spine. You wait and see. That done opened up a can of Kardashians. Just billions.
I know. That's I'm about to go to church on that one.
Okay. Thank you again. Tell my brains how to get in contact with you so they can follow the podcast. You know, I might have a budding athlete that's looking at this and needs somebody to mentor him. Tell them how to get in contact with you, sir.
Yeah, check me out. You can go to RayLeonardJr.com. That's going to have all the information on all the companies that I'm involved in and what we do like popping. Ray Leonard Jr. at Ray Leonard Jr. for everything on social media. I post funny stuff. I talk about some serious stuff, but I'm straight up, and I'm always open to help somebody out. So give me a shout on every single platform. Pretty much besides Snapchat, I'm not on that. I ain't old enough for that. So young enough for that.
I don't do the Snapchat and I don't do the TikTok. The TikTok is crazy. Okay. TikTok. It's too much for me. So thank you again. Like I said, brains, I need you to go in. You know what to do. Let me show you what to do. You see this right here? I need you to like, love, share, subscribe, donate. Come on with some great interviews. If you are a budding athlete, you see this interview. I love athletes, So come get with me. I love you. Thank you so much, Ray. You are the man.
All right, love y'all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye, brains.